Not a lot of people can say this, but I reached Lance with a single level 5 Gastly. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm a goddamn shit, I forgot to heal. Alright guys, you've seen me take down Gen 4 with a single level 1 Pokemon. You've seen me beat the game without using any moves, but am I crazy enough to try Gen 2 with a single level 5 Pokemon? Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Hello YouTube, and welcome to my... I started the challenge with the one Pokemon that will take them all down. Gastly. You can catch a Gastly at night before the first gym, and it will probably be a higher level than the one I'm using, but it won't have the movesets I need, so I get a legitimate Gastly through cheating in order to start the game with it. I even gave it a few EVs, that will show them. We start our adventure by talking to all these useless people, because we're trying to delay this madness as long as we can. Until we can't. With my limited resources, limited Pokemon, limited items, and lack of awareness of what I'm getting myself into, I'll be abusing the top 2 broken mechanics in Gen 2, Sleep and Evasion. And before I break down the mechanics, allow me to introduce a broken held item called Bright Powder. If you're not following so far, don't worry, it gets worse, because we're about to do some math. Evasion in this game can lower the chances of the enemy's attack to as low as 33%. This applies to the accuracy of the move being used. So a 100% accurate move will have 33% accuracy. An 85% accurate move will have less. Here's where Bright Powder comes in. In Gen 2 and only in Gen 2, Bright Powder lowers the accuracy by 8%, regardless of the evasion stat. So think of it as an additive value instead of multiplicative. Where did everyone go? Let's drop the math. Let's say you brought a sandwich to school, and a bully comes at you and tells you I'm taking half of it. Understandably, you act like a complete bitch and hand half the sandwich to him. I know I would, no shame in that. The next day, you decide to hide half the sandwich, so you share even less, right? Well, a Gen 4 bully would fall for that. A Gen 2 bully, however, would still take half the sandwich, because they don't give a shit. So what I'm getting at is, just eat at home. Bright Powder will make the enemy lose 8% of its accuracy, no matter how low it is already. So with max evasion, the highest chance an enemy can land an attack is around 25%. With all that fun out of the way, let's test this strategy against a real gym leader. Okay, never mind. My main source of damage is Nightmare. Nightmare is just like Curse, but it doesn't take half my HP every time. The downside is, the enemy has to be asleep for it to take damage. But I figured putting the enemy to sleep is safer for me, and I'll be doing it anyways, so I might as well use it. The enemy can die in 4 turns if they have even health, or 5 turns if they have odd health. And for some reason, 90% of the region have odd health, which is odd, literally. There are 2 other ways to kill my opponent, confusion and frustration. Because nothing is more annoying than missing your attacks over and over while dying to a ball-shaped cotton candy. So we kick his ass, take his money, send some to mom, and head on to the next town. Coming up next is Whitney. She has 2 normal Pokemon versus my Gastly, so she has no chance. Coming up next is Whitney. This one is going to be difficult. She has 2 normal Pokemon, but don't get fooled, one of them is a cow. Clefairy's Double Slap won't affect us, so I got all the time in the world to finish my setup, as she mini-mos her next few attacks with Metronome. Trust me, that never works, I've been there. By the time I take her down, my evasion is maxed, now Miltank's only move, Rollout, can be avoided, and she ended up missing all of its attacks. So we kick her ass, take her money, send some to mom, and move on to the next town. You know how people save to catch the Sudowoodo? I had to save to run away from it. Next is Morty, the ghost gym leader. This battle haunted me for days. Morty has the same problem as the rival, which is Curse. It's even worse with Morty because 2 of his Pokemon have it. Let's start with the good news. His Gastly, one of his Curse users, will often start with Blick, so that I can control, and a few resets will be enough. The problem is his second Curse user, which is Hunter. I couldn't figure out when the AI goes for it, and it was completely random. He will either start with it or never go for it at all, no in-betweens. I tried playing around with my accuracy stats. I thought maybe he only uses Curse when I raise my evasion high enough, because Curse ignores evasion, but that wasn't the case. So after I take down his Gastly, the bell doesn't actually start until I see what his Hunter goes for. I finally managed to get through half his team. Gengar is easy if he decides to go for Hypnosis, but with my luck, he didn't this time. It gets close because he was able to use Shadow Ball 3 times, luckily missing all of them. His last Hunter will also get a chance to attack me multiple times with Nightshade, again missing all of them before I put it to sleep one last time and wait for Nightmare to take it down. So we kick his ass, take his money, send some to mom, and head on to the next town. One trapped maniac later... I was talking about this guy. Despite how dumb they made him look, Chuck is the first gym leader to use full heal, but he won't be the last. First, I have to get rid of his Primeape. If I fail my hypnosis even once, things will get bad, because he's going to use Leer. Maybe he is dumb after all. Polywrath is next, and because he's going to use full heal, I have to put it to sleep twice in a row. Things go really well as I get a lucky 5-turn sleep. The order I like to use my moveset in is Hypnosis, followed by Nightmare, then Swagger. So if they sleep long enough, I can take them down before they get a chance to wake up. Now that we kicked his ass, we take his money, send some to mom, and head back to the previous town. Jasmine needs help with a Pokemon that we don't care about, so we went to the first shady guy wearing indoor sunglasses, red flags were all over, and took some 100% medicinal powder and gave it to her. What are you looking at? We helped Jasmine fix the Pokemon at the lighthouse, but messed up the rest of her team for it. Jasmine doesn't use full heal, but she does use Hyper Potion on her last and least effective Pokemon, Steelix. Steelix only goes for Iron Tail, and with its already bad accuracy, I have a better chance of this video going viral than it hitting me, so it's never gonna happen. But we still need to take it down twice, nevertheless. The poor woman just stood there watching as a floating bowling ball took down a Pokemon 4 times its size. After we kick her ass, we take her money, send some to mom, and head on to the next town. You know how people save to catch the red Gyarados? I had to save to get away from it. Well, I had to kill it actually, because running away will not progress the game. It wasn't too difficult however, because it likes to go for Thrash for some reason, so I didn't even need to get it confused. It does that all on its own. Pryce has Rest on 2 of his Pokemon, but luckily he never uses it. This move is a huge problem that I will only get to realize later in the game. I wonder who else has Rest. Only Piloswine is left? He always goes for Blizzard, so it's not too bad. The weird thing was the way Pryce healed him. Pryce uses 1 Hyper Potion, but for some reason, when he was at healing range, he didn't heal him right away. He tried to attack once, almost killed himself in confusion, and only after I put it to sleep a second time, did he decide to use Hyper Potion. I didn't know that the AI had a chance of not healing. Not sure if that was the case, or me being low leveled and with low max HP had something to do with it. So we kick his ass, take his money, send some to mom, and then slide our way to the final town. Remember when Claire was annoying with all her Thunder Waves? Yeah, I wish she would use them now, but instead she goes for Surfs and accurate moves. Her Dragonairs however have even health, so at least I have that. I got really unlucky with her because her Pokemon woke up too soon, multiple times, but we managed to survive and something strange happened. Watch her behavior on the last Pokemon. She uses Hyper Potion with Kingdra, that I can get. But not only that, she decided to use Full Heal only after she used Hyper Potion. With Chuck, he used Full Heal right after I put his ace Pokemon to sleep. Claire didn't do that, she waited. I then learned 2 things. That Full Heal doesn't heal Confusion, even though Full Restore does, and that Nightmare is bugged in this game. Her Kingdra kept on taking damage when it woke up with Full Heal. I believe the game heals the sleeping status, but doesn't remove the Nightmare debuff, so it was taking damage even though it was up, making it a free curse. Might as well call it almost Full Heal. After experiencing all the fun bugs and spaghetti code throughout the Jotho region, we are now ready for the Elite Four. The rival stops us and starts trash talking, a mistake that ends in 6 deaths and 1 injury, all of them from my team. If you're familiar with my challenges, you know that things start to get serious starting with this fight, and this one is no exception. The rival is the first major battle with an accuracy bypassing move, Feint Attack, and he starts with it with his first Pokemon, Sneasel. Before the battle, I had to replace Bright Powder with Quick Claw, because he uses Feint Attack, so my evasion is useless here. So not only do I have to put him to sleep, but he can't attack me, and I can only raise my accuracy once he's asleep and confused. But even then, it's still risky. In this battle, I tried to focus on taking down his Pokemon, while slowly raising my evasion. This is generally not smart, but when I get stuck for long, I try to do things differently, and for some reason it's working so far. I take his Golbat down, and he brings Magneton next. By the time I take down his Magneton, I finally have full evasion. Some breathing room, right? Nope, Hunter is next. If he uses Curse, it's over. But he decides to go for Shadow Ball and misses. If it was Curse, I would have to redo all of that. Also, he shouldn't have evolved his level 5 Gastly. Rookie mistake. He should have watched my videos. We take him down, now it should get easier, right? Wrong again. His Kadabra killed me multiple times with Future Sight. He always starts with it, it always goes off, and I don't think it goes through the accuracy check on the first turn. But luckily, it can fail to hit me when it lands 2 turns later. Kadabra wakes up but attacks itself in confusion, so it didn't get to go for another Future Sight. Only his Meganium remaining. It has even health, so it can go down in 4 turns. The rival didn't want to give up on becoming the best trainer. Losing to a level 5 Gastly sure did it though. Now, some of you might say, wow, this battle was almost impossible, it can't get any worse. Well, you're wrong my friend, it does. Let's start with Will. What has 4 eyes and doesn't wear glasses? It's Jotho. With his first Jotho, I got 2 5-turn sleep, this was enough to raise my evasion, and take it down safely. Great start so far. Let's hope our luck continues this way. Just as I say that, his Jinx snaps out of confusion after 1 turn, but she doesn't take us down, so what am I complaining about? I think Jinx is one of the few female Pokemon that had odd health in this game. I know some stats are affected by gender in Gen 2, I believe it's the attack stat, it was always lower for female Pokemon or something like that, but I thought maybe HP had something to do with it as well. Executor sleeps the entire battle, so that was nice of him. Next is Slowbro, and this is the first time I have seen a Slowbro start with an attack other than Amnesia. Maybe he forgot. Okay, I'll stop. The Elite Four are all over the place when it comes to healing items. Some use full restores, some use max potions, and some use multiple full heals. I have no idea what is going on, but I just focused on one battle at a time, and I didn't try to draw a pattern. His final Pokemon is his second Jotho, and this one gets healed with max potion, so it remains asleep and confused. It gets better because it attacks itself in confusion, and I put it back to sleep right after. Poor thing does not catch a break. Well is down, next is Koga. Throughout the game, I was used to spamming Hypnosis while the enemy is asleep. That worked fine with 3 to 4 Pokemon, maybe even 5. But with 6 Pokemon, I need to be smarter in how I use them, especially as the healing items increase. Koga starts with Aerodactyl. In Gen 4, that thing would have been a problem, because you can't put it to sleep. But in this game, it's an easy start, because he starts with Double Team, so I don't have to wait for it to miss first. His second Pokemon is Venusaur. It missed Hypnosis, fell asleep for 4 turns, and attacked itself in confusion on the last turn. I did so much work in that one. Next is Fortress, and that thing can't attack me. It only has normal attacks and spikes. If this was Gen 1, it would have used Explosion by now. He keeps Crobat last and goes for Muck first. I get a 4-turn sleep, and while it doesn't attack itself in confusion on the last turn, I was still able to dodge its attack, put it to sleep, and go for Nightmare again. Now it gets interesting. Koga, unlike Will, uses Full Restore, and as soon as I put Crobat to sleep, he will use it. Not just that, after I put it to sleep again, he will use Full Heal. So I need to put that thing to sleep 3 times in a row. If you thought that was bad, wait till you see Lance. You know, if I make it there. I noticed Crobat doesn't waste time with Double Team against my Gastly. He always goes for Wing Attack, and with Hypnosis' terrible accuracy, he can easily land an attack, and he did actually kill me several times. Dying on the last Pokemon was the worst thing, and those are usually the Pokemon the Elite Four choose to heal. Next is Bruno. Think of Bruno as the game giving us a break to what we're about to face next. Another easy start because Hitmontop goes for Dig, a 2-turn move, so I don't have to wait for it to miss on the first turn, and while I can't put him to sleep in between the 2 turns, I can still raise my evasion. So I still do the same strategy, but I adjust the move order a little. Onyx is next. The rest of the battle goes well with Onyx, and we take him down. Next is Hitmonlee. His Hitmonlee can't attack me right away, he only has fighting moves. But he's the most dangerous one of them all, because he has Foresight. This doesn't only enable fighting moves to hit me, but it also enables Psychic moves to hit me. So I don't have to wait for it to miss on the first turn, and while I can't put him to sleep in between the 2 turns, I can still raise my evasion. So I still do the same strategy, but I adjust the move order a little. Onyx is next.
There is the battle goes well with Onyx. His Hitmonlee can't attack me right away, he only has fighting moves. But he's the most dangerous one of them all, because he has Foresight. This doesn't only enable fighting moves to hit me,
but it also negates my evasion and resets it to 0 when he attacks. Luckily in this gen, Foresight has 100% accuracy, so it can be evaded. I believe in Gen 4 it bypasses accuracy checks, so it could have been worse. I always plan ahead before I start a challenge, but I completely missed this one and it was unexpected. Hitmonchan has 4 moves, each a different type, so he can take us down in many ways. I'm glad that never happens though, and we reach his final Pokemon. Machamp can only attack with the inaccurate move Rock Slide. Turns out, Bruno uses Max Potion instead of Full Restore, and again, I don't know when they decide to use which. I honestly remembered all of them using Full Restores. Luckily, the one time I reached his Machamp was the last time, so it didn't matter and I was able to defeat Bruno. Karen is next, and if you couldn't guess from the name, she's annoying. Welcome to the hardest battle in this challenge. Her first Pokemon, Umbreon, has Feint Attack, so I have to give it Quick Claw. That by itself is bad, because it affects my overall evasion, which I don't like, but I have to go for it if I want to have a chance of starting the fight. However, that is not the worst part. The problem is that her second Pokemon, Murkrow, also has Feint Attack, so even if I take down her Umbreon, I still die to her Murkrow. So, what to do? I got it. I'm gonna need some help. I'm going to use Gastly. Not that one. This one. This one has a different moveset. I'm using a Gastly that knows Substitute. You can't teach Substitute to a Gastly in this game, you have to do it in a Gen 1 game. So you would have to transfer a breeded Gastly from a Gen 2 game to a Gen 1, teach it Substitute, and then trade it back. Now, I can still easily die if I miss Hypnosis, so this doesn't guarantee anything. In fact, I wanted to have enough HP to at least have one more Substitute for the rest of her team, since I don't have Confusion anymore, and I couldn't even get that by the time her Murkrow was down. But I finally take down her first 2 Pokemon, so I'm definitely going to continue with this one. Her Houndoom is next, and I have one Substitute up. This can keep me safe for a while. I get a lucky 4 turn sleep, and not just that, after Karen heals it with Max Potion, she goes for full heal the turn after. Guess what that did? Bug Nightmare again. Now her Houndoom will keep on taking damage. The problem is, I failed Hypnosis and he broke my sub with Pursuit. That is really bad. I'm now one hit away from losing this. Luckily, I don't miss Hypnosis on her Vileplume, and I get a 5 turn sleep, so that one went by quickly. But we're not done. Because this disaster of a battle ends with a Gengar that knows Curse. Please don't kill me, I'll stop making fun of you for the rest of my videos. Gengar was a real bro this time, and actually slept for 5 turns. I knew he liked me all along. Not a lot of people can say this, but I reached Lance with a single level 5 Gastly. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm a goddamn shit, I forgot to heal. The entire battle with Lance was tough from beginning to end. He starts with Gyarados that always goes for Surf. This Gyarados usually starts with Rain Dance, but I never got it once in this challenge. Surf is a 100% accurate move, and it has over 90% chance of landing with Bright Powder, so there was a long gap between each attempt at Lance. But I do manage to get him to sleep, twice actually, and on the second time, he slept long enough to go down with Nightmare as I raise my evasion. Okay, good, we're still going. This Dragonite has even health, so it goes down in 4 turns and doesn't wake up. Oh my god, I hate Hypnosis! Blizzard is not accurate, but still. Anyways, this one also has even health and doesn't wake up for 4 more turns. Next is Aerodactyl, and my luck ends here. I had to put it to sleep multiple times and it didn't attack itself in confusion once. But it will always go for Rock Slide, so if I had to pick one Pokemon to put it to sleep multiple times, Aerodactyl wouldn't be the worst option. Okay, I swear Charizard's Flamethrower is rigged. I died at least 20 times just from Charizards in this challenge. Guess who else has a Charizard? He's the only Pokemon that I considered using Swagger on second, before Nightmare. But I didn't this time, and I don't get a 5 turn sleep, but it does attack itself in confusion on the last turn. One last Dragonite. Oh, we're not done. Guess who has full restore? And we're still not done. Guess who has full heal? If a move relearner was a thing in Gen 2, I would have definitely gone for a level 5 Smeargle with Spore instead. His level 50 Dragonite has odd health, so it needs 5 Nightmares to go down. I had to put it to sleep a second time, and luckily he missed his attack on that turn. And we finally take down Lance and make it through the lead. This has to be embarrassing for you. Ever had a battle so difficult you decided to have a sex change? I'm just kidding. But I did lose so many times to Blue, it almost blew my mind. Blue has a full team, so I have to watch my Hypnosis PowerPoints. He also has 2 healing items, so I have to keep an eye on that. Now, some of you requested that I show the Kanto region in my challenges. I did consider doing that for this challenge, but I wanted to show the full red battle. I feel in a challenge like this one, it will be better to show the final trainer than to cover more gym leaders. Unfortunately, as a small YouTuber, I can't upload long videos because most people will not choose to watch them. So I try to keep my videos short. I would like to hear your thoughts, however. I know most of you who watch my videos don't really comment, but maybe try and share your opinion this time. I do want to know what people think. Anyways, back to the battle. Blue uses his 2 full restores on Gyarados. I was surprised the first time I saw that because I expected maybe it was Arcanine or his last Pokemon, but for some reason he chose Gyarados. So that's the one Pokemon that I have to put to sleep 3 times in a row. Also, guess who else uses 2 full restores? His Executor is his last and his least threat, because he goes for Solar Beam, so I at least have 1 free turn to put him to sleep. I don't miss, and even though he wakes up in 2 turns, he ends up attacking himself twice, before going back to sleep again. So this one is over. Only 1 trainer remaining. As I mentioned, I'll be showing the full battle, so get comfortable, relax, and enjoy it. Because I sure didn't. Alright, now it's red. Everyone, meet my latest addition to the causes of my depression. Hey, that rhymed! Red has 6 Pokemon, 2 full restores, a level 81 Pikachu, but the worst of it all, he has a Snorlax that knows rest. First thing I do is put Pikachu to sleep. He always goes for Thunder, so it's not the most accurate move. Pfft, that's easy. I thought Red was gonna be difficult. Yeah, I gotta do that 3 times in a row. Because the only trainer in the game that will waste 2 full restores on his first Pokemon is Red. That guy does not want his Pikachu sleeping. Apparently the way the AI is thinking, if you call it thinking, is I see a non-volatile status condition, therefore I must heal it. So that's done, now what? I like to get his Pikachu confused with Swagger. Pikachu's defenses are low and he hits way too hard that he can take himself down in 2 turns if things go really well. If not, I can just rely on Nightmare. But if there's a Pokemon that you want to get confused, it's Pikachu. And Charizard. Also his Espeon. And of course Snorlax, don't have to mention that. Blastoise as well, because of Surf. Yeah, but the rest are fine. You'll notice how quickly I choose my moves during this early phase. It's muscle memory at this point. I've been doing it for so long, I don't even have to pay attention at this point. Until I get to his Snorlax. Things are going great so far. I raise my evasion, and even though he wakes up, I still went for double team. Because I always play it risky early on. I can even risk it and wait for him to take himself down, and that is exactly what happens here. After it attacks itself twice, and with no healing items, that was enough. We take down his Pikachu. Let me tell you, the fight hasn't even started yet. Right now, I'm not even excited. I'm still focusing on whatever movie I'm watching on Netflix. Because you don't go through a challenge like this one, focusing only on the game. You will go crazy. Look at his Snorlax. Even his battle animation tells you this is gonna be a while. His Snorlax somehow managed to be the easiest and the worst Pokemon in his team. He can't attack me because his only 2 attacking moves are Snore and Body Slam. So that's the good news. Bad news, I can't kill him. The AI proved to be stupid enough that rest on its own is not a problem. I faced Price with rest and not once did he use it. But the problem is that Red doesn't have any other move to go for. So if I hurt his Snorlax in any way, even if I just hurt his feelings, he will go for rest. You want a Snorlax to go for rest versus a Gastly? Call him fat. You'll see. Instant rest. So I have to stop him from using rest by hitting itself in confusion. I have never changed movesets for a trainer as much as I did with Red. I even did a Curse plus Nightmare setup just to see his Snorlax die in 3 turns. I didn't go far after that, so that didn't work. I tried everything, Substitute, Attract, AK-47s, but I realized this same moveset was still my best option. I even considered using a Paris with Spore, but I knew that was the desperate me talking, and that it wouldn't work. One thing I tend to do with these battles is to make sure I take risks early, so if I risk dying for a chance that Pikachu takes itself down faster, I'll do that. That's because I can run out of Hypnosis power points. In fact, I can easily run out of it if it goes really bad with Snorlax. That's the only time I reset on Snorlax actually, because he can't kill me. Also, Swagger is bugged with Snorlax, so for some reason after I use it 3 times, it will always fail. I can share a recording where I failed it 13 times in a row. Not sure if that's a bug in-game with Swagger in general, or just an interaction with the rest. Usually no one lives long enough for me to try it. But that's one thing I have to watch out for. Not to stack my Swaggers, because if he snaps out of confusion on the 3rd time, it is impossible for me to kill him. One more thing, if I didn't get a chance to raise my evasion to maximum on his Pikachu, I have all the time in the world to raise it on his Snorlax, as I wait for him to hopefully attack itself in confusion, before it uses rest, and then I land Hypnosis on the same turn. This takes a while, but eventually we get there and take his Snorlax down. Now the battle begins. Espeon is next. He will always go for Psychic. From here on out, all Red's Pokemon will go for 100% accurate moves, so the first 2 Pokemon were the easy part. I got Hypnosis on the first turn with Espeon, good, some breathing room. I'll go for Nightmare first, and then go for Swagger. Going for Nightmare first will always be risky, but it could be the difference between losing or winning the battle, so I'll always go for it first. Espeon sleeps for 3 turns, right about the time when I start using Hypnosis again. He attacks himself in confusion, so that's great, but I miss Hypnosis, so that's not. But before I start throwing stuff at my monitor, on the next turn, he attacks himself in confusion, taking my blood pressure and himself down. By the way, all of Red's Pokemon have odd health, so all of them go down in 5 Nightmare turns, unless they attack themselves. Next is Venusaur. This one is the only break I get for the rest of the battle, because he always goes for Solar Beam, so the first turn is always wasted, and if he ever misses an attack, that means 2 free turns, not just 1. Usually when I say stuff like that, I end up dying to that Pokemon the most, but that wasn't the case with Red. Venusaur really was useless for most of the time. His team would always be Pikachu, Snorlax, Espeon, Charizard, and I would sometimes forget about Venusaur. I land Hypnosis on the second turn, go for Nightmare, and Swagger after. I miss my first Swagger, but thankfully he doesn't wake up, and I get it the second time. I don't mind getting rid of all the bad luck on this one, because I'm really going to need it with his Flamethrower Charizard. Venusaur also wakes up on the third turn, wastes his turn with Solar Beam before I get it back to sleep. At this point, I'm still careful with my Hypnosis power points, so I go for another Swagger. After that, I'll only go for Hypnosis. I reapply Nightmare first and I wait. Hopefully that should be it for him. It wasn't. He wakes up on the last turn at red health. It's not gonna matter though because he'll attack himself in confusion. I want to point out that going for Hypnosis on the last turn is always the right choice, because in this gen, if the Pokemon dies, it will never go for the last attack, so I don't waste a power point, unless he actually wakes up, which would be a good thing to go for Hypnosis then. Alright, Venusaur is down, Charizard is next. You have no idea how many times I died at this Charizard. It was really getting to me. He will always go for Flamethrower, and in this one, I miss Hypnosis on the first turn. That's when I start panicking. I don't want to lose to him again. I dodge his first Flamethrower, now I have to dodge another one. It misses, thank God, and I land Hypnosis this time. I am 100% convinced that the accuracy check for Flamethrower is wrong in this game. I then go for Nightmare. I can take down a Pokemon in one sleep rotation if they sleep for 5 turns. It's one of the reasons I like to go for Nightmare second. Of course, that never happened so far in this battle, so I'm hoping to get it with Charizard. If I lose at Blastoise, I'll take it, but I really want to get past his Charizard. Swagger lands on first try, so at least I have that. Charizard doesn't sleep for 5 turns, but he wakes up and attacks himself in confusion. Finally, that thing is down. Only one Pokemon is remaining, Blastoise. He will always go for Surf, and as my usual luck, I will miss my first Hypnosis, so I have to do that again. I will get him on the second turn, but the fight is still not over. You guys can take control now, you know what to go for next. Nightmare followed by Swagger. I'll go for a second Swagger here, because I wanted to make sure if he attacks himself, he dies 100%, before going back to using Hypnosis. But, and I can't believe it, on his final Pokemon, I get a 5-turn sleep. I finally catch a break after getting this far. None of my other moves matter at this point, because it will not be needed. I couldn't believe it for a while, but I've never been more excited to beat Red. Well, that's not actually true. I hope you guys enjoyed this challenge. I want to remind you once again that I'm planning a challenge to do with my viewers, so don't forget to join my Discord if you haven't already. The link is in the comments, and see you guys next time.